ఇంటర్మీడియట్ విద్యారంగంలో అగ్రగామి మన ఎన్ఎస్ఆర్ ఇంపల్స్ ఎడ్యుకేషన్ ఇన్స్టిట్యూషన్. ఐఐటి, జేఈఈ అయినా, నీట్ అయినా తిరుగులేని విద్యా సంస్థ ఎన్ఎస్ఆర్ ఇంపల్స్.
Whenever body exposes to high intensity of solar radiation, melanin synthesis rate is increases. Melanin substance synthesis rate is increases. By that way, our body becomes a dark black in color. By that way, our body shows the resistance against to UV rays. Our body itself protect our body from the effect of the cancerous development also. Means this is adaptation. When we are shifted from low temperature area to high temperature area, that is the South Africa, whenever body is exposed to high temperature, definitely we must be develop a adaptation in our body to exist where that is nothing but our body starts synthesizing higher amount of melanin to overcome to protect our body from the effect of the high intensity of temperature. So in that way, continuous genetic adaptations of an organisms must be appears whenever they may be visit new environment. So definitely evolution branch deals origin of life on earth, how that kind of the first life is gets originate on the earth. Second, continuous changes which may be occurs during the course of the time. Third one is continuous genetic adaptations of an organisms whenever they visit a new environment. In that way, this evolution principle deals these three aspects. Again, the word of evolution was coined by, this word is coined by Herbert Spencer. Herbert Spencer coined the word of evolution. The word of organic evolution, this also called as the organic evolution, or simply we can say that is the evolution. The word of organic evolution is coined by Herbert Spencer. Next, how the NEET question maybe gets framed on this particular concept. How the question may be asked in NEET examination on this particular concept means, if a student wants to know, about evolution of reptiles and mammals, evolution of reptiles and mammals, then which branch of zoology helps to him? If a student wants to know about evolution of reptile and mammal, or otherwise, if a student wants to know about origin of reptiles and mammals, then which branch of zoology helps to him? Means how that kind of the reptiles maybe gets originated, how that kind of the mammals maybe gets originated, what are the first originated reptile, what are the first originated mammals, to know about this information, what is the branch of the zoology which is helps to him, means that is the evolution. Because evolutionary branch always focus how the evolution is occurs in the living world, how the protozoans are evoluted, how the foraminifers are evoluted, how the platyhelminthes individuals are evoluted. Like that way, this evolutionary branch principally focuses how the various kind of the animals evolution is taken place in the living world. So that only which branch of zoology helps to him means that is the evolution. Evolution branch a lot helps to him to betterly understand how the reptiles maybe gets originated in the living world, how the various kind of the mammals may be originated in the living world, to betterly understand what is the branch of the zoology which is helps to him means that is the organic evolution. At the same time, this organic evolution also betterly helps to him to how an individual is adapted to the new environment, how the individual maybe develops certain adaptations in new environment. To know that also this evolution branch is a lot helps to the students. This is the evolution branch. Next to last branch is ethology. Last branch is ethology. What is the ethology? Ethology is the branch of zoology which deals the study of animal behavior. Ethology branch always deals the study of animal behavior. Animal behavior means how the animals may be behave in various environmental factors influences. For example, if we want to observe the tiger behavior in various conditions, then at first we have to kept it in a boat. Later we have to observe, we have to carefully observe what is the behavior of the tiger in available of abundant food material, what is the behavior of the tiger in absence of the food material, what is the behavior of the tiger in the presence of other enemy. In that way, the detailed study of an animal behavior is said to be as the ethology. Definitely, our behavior is also always normal. In few cases we are with joyful, in few cases we are with severe anger, in few cases we are with severe angry. Like that way, definitely we are also not with the same behavior always. Depending upon our situations, depending our surrounding situations, definitely our behavior gets changes from time to time. Similarly, so the animal behavior, not only the humans, not only the tiger, not only the cat, all kinds of the animals behaviors study is said to be as the ethology. It is the branch of zoology. It always deals the study of animal behavior. The study of animal behavior. Then what are the steps which may be in ethology? What are the steps which we have to follow in a sequence for identify or for conclude of animal behavior? Means first systemic observation. Systemic observation means we have to carefully observe by keeping that kind of the animal whose behavior wants to estimate it, such animal at first have to be kept in the laboratory. Definitely after keeping that in laboratory condition, we have to observe it from moment to moment, for minute to minute, carefully. Second one, whatever the aspects which may be observed, whatever the information which is gets collected by observing, that have to be recorded. That is the recording. Third one is the analysis. Means, for example, if we want to finalize the animal behavior of a rat, at first rat have to be kept in laboratory. At first we have to provide sufficient food material to that kind of the rat. Later we have to carefully observe what is the behavior of the rat in the presence of abundant food material. Whether it is with more active, whether it is with dim, whether it is inactive. So we have to carefully observe. In the presence of abundant food material, whether this rat is with more active, whether this rat is inactive, whether this rat is lazy, what is its behavior, at first we have to carefully observe. Later, we have to record whether that rat is in inactive state, whether that rat is in active in the presence of the available food material. After observing, we have to record that aspect. Later, we have to observe the rat behavior in another situation by providing. For example, in absence of food, also we have to carefully observe what is the behavior of the rat. In first case, we have to observe the behavior of the rat in the abundant food material presence. In second case, we have to carefully observe what is the behavior of the rat in absence of the food for a longer period. For example, if we can stop the providing the food material to the rat for about 2 days, after stopping the providing the supplying of the food material to the rat for about 2 days, on third day we have to observe what is the behavior of the rat in absence of the food material for about 48 hours. So in that way, in second case, we have to observe the behavior of the rat in absence of the food. That information also have to be recorded. Finally, we have to analyze What is the behavior of the rat in presence of abundant food? What is the behavior of the rat in absence of the food in scarce food material? That is said to be as the analysis. That is the comparison. That is the comparison. That is the analysis. Means in related to physiology, in related to the ecology, in related to the evolutionary trend, we have to observe, we have to record, we have to analyze to finalize the behavior of an individual. Definitely, systemic observation, recording of information, analysis of information must be in related to physiology, in related to the ecological conditions, in related to evolutionary aspect. Means what? Definitely, whenever the abundant food is available to the rat, then automatically digestion rate is high in the case of the rat. Then automatically oxidation rate is also gets so high. Then automatically amount of energy which is releases into the body is also high. Definitely, in presence of abundant food material, this rat feeds on the abundant food. Then automatically abundant food, if it is ingested into body, that is gets digested. Digested food is reaches into the blood very quickly. That later gets oxidized. By that way, higher amount of energy is releases. That is said to be as the physiology. In related to physiology, we have to observe. Means as per the body functions, in abundant food material available, what is the rate of the body function? In absence of the food material, what is the rate of the body function? Also how to be carefully observed, carefully analyze. Normally, in absence of the food material, digestion rate is very poor, oxidation rate is very poor, amount of energy which is inside of the body is also very low. So that only as per the body functions also we have to carefully observe. Second, ecological condition. Ecological conditions nothing but availability of the food material, absence of the food material. By providing abundant food material, that is the one ecological condition. By stopping supplying of the food material is another ecological condition. That is the, with respect to ecological condition also we have to carefully observe. Evolutionary aspect means whether it's parents or whether it's grandparents or with a high resistance against to the scarcity of the food material or not, whether it is from the high resistant family or not, at first we have to thoroughly analyze whether its parents are with lived in abundant food available area or not, whether its grandparents also with feeds on the abundant food material, whether they are lived in the abundant food available area or not, whether they may be lived in the desert areas, whether they may be lived in the forest areas. Like that way, we have to thoroughly analyze what is its evolutionary aspect, what is its mode of origin, how they maybe gets evoluted, how they maybe gets comes onto the earth, what is its evolutionary history. In that way, definitely while we are finalizing, deciding animal behavior, we at first observe the animal condition in related to physiology, in related to the ecological condition, in related to the evolutionary aspect. Later, in all these conditions or with respect to all these conditions, after observing that observed information how to be gets recorded, later such collected information have to be thorough analyzed. Finally, we have to decide what is the behavior of an individual. In that way, animal behavior study is said to be as the ethology. Animal behavior study is said to be as the ethology. Definitely for finalizing one animal behavior, what are the sequential steps which we have to follow means, one is the first step, systemic observation of an individual with respect to the physiology, various physiological condition, various ecological condition, various evolutionary approaches. With respect to these three, definitely we have to observe that individual carefully. Second step is that after careful observation, this observed information how to be gets recorded. Third one is that after recording the various information, that how to be thoroughly compared, that how to be thoroughly analyzed. By that way, finally we have to conclude the animal behavior. This is the ethology branch. This is nothing but ethology branch. Next, how the question may be framed on this particular concept in NEET examination point of view means, how the question may be asked in NEET examination on this particular concept means, if a student wants to know about the behavior of if a student wants to know about behavior of parents during results, if a student wants to know about behavior of parents during their children's results, then which branch of zoology helps to him? Definitely, if the student wants to know the behavior of the parents, different kind of the parents during the results, then which branch of the zoology a lot helps to him means, definitely the children who may be got A grade, their parents must be with a joyful condition. The children who may be failed, their parents must be with the disappointed, their parents are with the depression. So definitely the behavior of the parents whose children are with the A grade is completely different from the parents of the children who maybe gets fail. Means behavior of different parents is different. Means the children who maybe got first division or A grade, their parents are with the joyful or with the cheerful, and the children who maybe gets failed in the examination, their parents must be with the depressed or disappointed. So in that way, if we want to know, if we want to observe the behavior of the parents during the result time, definitely what is the branch of the zoology which is helps to him means that is nothing but ethology. Ethology. Animal behavior study is said to be as the ethology. So definitely answer is ethology branch. The branch of zoology, that is the ethology, is principally helps to the students to betterly understand the behavior of various individuals with respect to physiology, ecology and evolutionary mode. That is the ethology. These are the branches of zoology. Next to continuation topic is need of classification. Before going to the need of classification, at first you have to know certain basics of zoology. Before going to the continuation topic, that is the need of classification, I want to explain certain terminology which is very commonly used in the zoology. What are the terminology which is commonly used in zoology? What is the common terminology? Common terminology which may be used in zoology. First, phylos. This is very important basic for zoology to betterly understand. What are the phylos which are there in zoology? How many phylos are there in zoology? At first you have to know. What are the various phylos means? First one is the Porifera. Porifera is the first phyla. What is the meaning of the Porifera means? Pori means force. Para means presence. On entire surface of body, small openings are present, microscopic openings are present. They are said to be as the poriferans. Second, Cnidaria. Second phyla is Cnidaria. This is only basic terminology. You should remember, it's not detailed study. It's not detailed study. In further classes, definitely we will learn more detailedly about the Porifera, about the Cnidaria, about the Platyhelminthes, about the Nematoda. This is only at first you have to remember. This is the basic. At first you have to know the terms of Porifera, Cnidaria. Nidaria, nothing but what is the meaning of the nidaria? Nida means nidoblast cells are stinging cell. They are defensive cells like that of our WBC, like that of our macrophages. In our blood, definitely WBC cells are present. They are defensive cells. Similarly, in Nidarian body, nidoblast cells are present for protecting from the enemies, to provide the protection to their body. Nidoblast cells are present, so that only they are collectively called as the nidaria. Nida means nidoblast cell. Area means presence. Definitely they are with nidoblast cell in their body for getting the protection from the enemy. So that only they are said to be as the nidarians. Next one is the platyhelminthes. What is the meaning of the platy? Means a flat. What is the meaning of the flat? Smooth. Both the surfaces of body, if they are smooth, like that of a ribbon, or scale, if both the surfaces are smooth or flat, this is the dorsal, this is the ventral. Upper surface is said to be as the dorsal, lower surface is said to be as the ventral. Both the dorsal and ventral, if they are flat, then we can say that is the platyhelminthes. Definitely platyhelminthes is nothing but if both the surfaces are with the flat, like that of a ribbon, like that of a tape, then they are said to be as the platyhelminthes. So that only animals of this phylum is said to be as the flatworms. Before going to that, platy means a flat. Helminth means worms. Helminth means worm. So definitely this kind of the platyhelminthes individuals are simply called as flatworms or ribbon worms or tapeworm. Tape means the tape which is present near the tailor, at the tailor, that's also with flat on both dorsal as well as ventral. So that only they are said to be as the tapeworm. Platyhelminthes individuals are with flat on both dorsal as well as ventral. So that only they are the flatworms. They are also called as the ribbon worm. They are also called as the tapeworm. Next phylum is Nematoda. What is the meaning of the Nemo? Means a thread. Again, toads means worms. So definitely these are rounded like that of the thread. like that of a thread. These are rounded, so that only they are said to be as the nematodes. Threadworm, that is nothing but thread is rounded like this. It is rounded and long. If this kind of the animal's body is rounded, then that is said to be as the nematode. So that only these nematodes are commonly called as roundworms. Definitely, Nematihelminthes or nematodes body is rounded like that of a thread. So that only these are said to be as the roundworms. Nematihelminthes individuals also called as the roundworms. Next to annelid